Okay, we've got a game lined up. It's Sunday again. We're playing 2,400 points after last week's discussion about optimal sizes and stuff. So we're quite enjoying the 2,400, so we thought we'd give it another go. Size Ogres certainly seem to perform slightly better that way, at least in his mind. So that's all that matters. Okay, so as it happens, my Bretonnian army is exactly 2,400 points, so that's what I decided to roll out against him. After last time I had a crushing defeat, which was pretty bad. So I'm going to try and redeem myself this time. So I've changed the list slightly. I've dropped the heroic killing blow Lord on a Pegasus, just because he's a bit suicidal. Anyway, so I'm going to run through the list. We're playing the battle line mission, which we rolled for, and that's one we got, so which was fine with us. So starting off with 3 Pegasus Knights with a musician, a trebuchet, 16 archers with a standard and musician, 40 men at arms, standard musician, and a level 2 of beasts. Then we have 11 knights errant with the errantry banner, and my lord, who doesn't have a heroic killing blow, has another combination of stuff. Then we have 12 knights of the realm with level 4 prophetess, the BSB, and another paladin, with all the bells and whistles that normally accompany paladins, and 9 questing knights. That's it. So hand over the site. Oh, also the level 4's Law of Beasts as well. So the spells I got is pretty much everything apart from the Flock of Doom and Pan's Impenetrable Pelt. So I shall hand you over to the site.
Okay, this is my standard 2,400 ogre list. I will be tweaking it a bit later on, as I've been checking out people's comments on the channel, and yeah, it's time for maybe a bit of a change. So, well, we'll see how it does today, but yeah, it's going to get a bit of tweaking done. So to start off with, I have my unit of 8 Iron Guts on the left, led by a Firebelly. I have 4 Mournfang Cavalry with all the bells and whistles. I then have my unit of 15 Ogre Bulls, with which there is a Slaughtermaster and my BSB, who is again ably proxied by Golfag Maneater. Then over here I have a Saber Tusk, and then I have a Stonehorn, who is still unfortunately headless. He'll probably remain that way until he's painted. And then right over here I have my Iron Blaster, and then finally a lone Saber Tusk. So yeah, the Iron Blaster is kind of peeing in the wind a little, but I have plans for that. So yeah, that is the army. Ollie has elected to pray, so I will be going first. So we will see you at the end of Ogre's turn 1. Okay, end of Ogre's turn 1. Slightly eventful, interesting. Everyone just basically moved up, nothing too serious. Everyone sort of scooted forward, although the Iron Blaster took advantage of it being a chariot and moved sideways, bizarrely enough. But the geniuses at Games Workshop FAQ Central say that it's possible, so what the hell. My Saber Tusks have Leroy Jenkins it all the way up, so I for once remembered the plan. Yeah, not too bad. Magic phase, I basically rolled 11, yeah, first cast of the game, just for a brain gobbler on that unit there. Basically miscast on 3 dice, and yeah, got away with it quite lightly. Just got magical feedback, wounding both the Firebelly and the Slaughtermaster. The Slaughtermaster gained his wound back from the Law attribute. He then managed to get off Ball Gorger, but Ollie dispelled Troll Guts. But yeah, so far I'd managed to do 2 wounds to myself. But then I managed to pull it back in an expert piece of shooting, which will, by well, everyone else should know by now that that will be the only shooting I'll get for the rest of the game with this thing. It'll probably blow up next turn. But I managed to slot one of his Pegasus Knights. So, yeah, that was quite nice. And it was quite foreboding as I rolled the first, the bounce for the first overshot was 4 inches, and then I managed to roll a misfire for the bounce, but thankfully the re-roll took it straight into there, and yeah, managed to score one. So, yeah, overall, 2 wounds apiece I managed to do to myself and to Ollie, which is pretty good for me, because I've usually wiped out half my army by now. So, yeah, a pretty reasonable start, and yeah, we'll see what Ollie has to answer for in his turn 1.
Okay, it's the end of Bretonnians turn 1. Things just shuffled up. The errants failed their impetuous test, unfortunately, and charged into these ogres, and everything else just kind of shuffled around. The Pegasus Knight charged into his saber tusk. He fled, and they pursued and caught him, rolling a massive 21. Then in the magic phase, got a reasonable amount of dice. Tried to cast Whiston's Wild Form on the errant, but so I dispelled it. Then I cast the Amber Spear on the Iron Guts over there, and only did 2 wounds, so it actually failed to penetrate into the next rank. As with Irresistible Force, managed to put a wound on both my casters, just decided in his first turn. And then because of the miscast, I lost all my other power dice, so that was a shame. Shooting phase, the archers shot off the Saber Tusk. Trebuchet fired at the Mournfang and did failed to wound with the main rock, but the splash did 2 wounds because I was at strength 5, which was quite nice. And then in close combat, the errant charged at his big horde, and with a rather nasty little combo I had with Gauntlet of the Duel, Sword of Heroes, and the Virtue of Confidence. I called out, issued a challenge. He accepted with his BSB, and I did 6 wounds to him and killed him. And then my errant did paltry 2 wounds. Then Sai attacked me back, and I managed to do no wounds at all, thus losing the combat. But he had the Crown of Command and was stubborn 8, but then rolled a 10 and then got overrun. And so he's lost his big horde on the first turn. So he's decided to concede, and we're just going to play again, which is fair enough because that's pretty demoralising.
Well, that's basically you can't win now.
Yeah, it's a pretty brutal little combo, which obviously lost him his reroll, which is what did it. So if he passed that stubborn test, would have been fine, but he failed it, and that's a big chunk of points to lose on the first turn. So we're going to play again. So which I'm fine with as well. I don't want a game that's just going to last 1 turn. So, but it was pretty fun. We certainly like that combo.
Yeah, well, I was going to say because like everything was perfect up until the point where I rolled. Like everything was kind of going as per normal. I mean, all right, I rolled really. I didn't roll so well for the number of wounds. I rolled on wounded on 2+ and got 4 1s and out of was it 11 dice.
Yeah.
Which was harsh. But,
yeah.
You know.
And then he did, what was it, 7 wounds to me?
Yeah.
And then I passed 5 4-ups and then both my wards.
Yeah.
Because obviously he buffed himself to be toughness 5, strength 5. So I had the slightly improved ward save. Yeah, and I passed all my saves. So, so yeah, that was pretty brutal. So the quickest Bretonnian win ever, I'd wager. But you know, we both kind of agreed. Like, I'm quite happy for Sides to Convene. We'll just start again, to be honest, because once you lose your big Death Star on the first turn, it's kind of hard to come back from that. So yeah, so we're going to start again. So hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. Even so, I found it amusing.
Well, it was funny. I mean,
yeah. So my first ever Bretonnian win. So yeah, I know they're fast, but I didn't know they're that fast. So we'll get back to you with another game.